Okay, so we finally saw Bullet Train. The movie starring Brad Pitt. I'm sorry, I have to laugh. Like, this is a movie that you have to like turn your brain off for.
Yes.
And I was not expecting it to be like that.
Yeah.
But
Go along for the ride, literally.
Yeah, seriously, just go along for the ride. Nah, you'll probably have a pretty decent time. We about to talk about it. Hello world, welcome back to Small Couch Reviews. And the couch really is feeling a little bit small today. Let me
scooch on over.
Alright.
Gosh.
It's your boy Sam.
It's your boy Joey.
Yes, and as we said, we just saw Bullet Train. This movie came out, I think, 2 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And
people are still going to see it in the theater.
Yeah, our theater was pretty full. It was pretty packed. There were a lot of people there. Yeah, but we finally saw it. And I'm gonna say I enjoyed it. That's the thought I had. This movie, let me just jump right into it. So basically, alright, so I'm gonna try to tell the plot, but I don't want to give away too much because I do think it's something people should watch and discover on their own. Because the plot is continually, it's unraveling before your eyes. Yeah. Literally up until like maybe before 10 minutes before the movie's over, you're still learning stuff. Yeah. So anyway, as you've seen from the trailer, Brad Pitt gets on this train in Tokyo. It's a bullet train, and it's just a really fast train. And he's on there to retrieve a briefcase because he's an assassin, but he's also a pacifist. Like, he's gone through some stuff where he's learned, he's learned to take life at a different way, and he's not trying to harm people, and he likes to talk things out. But he's still in the business of, like, doing bad things for money. So it's a little weird, but anyway. When he gets on this train, we quickly learn there are a lot of other, like, assassins on this train, and they're not all going after what he's going after.
Which is crazy.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
They all have their own agenda, and they kind of don't even, like, their missions don't really have anything to do with each other. But you learn that, that was a mistake. Their missions don't seem to have anything to do with each other. But as they're going through and doing their stuff, you're learning that, there are these crisscross patterns where they keep running into each other. Mm-hmm.
Literally and physically. It's like
Yeah. They keep running into each other, and then you start to learn that, there's kind of a bigger plot at foot. That's all I really want to give away about that. I really do think it's worth a watch, seeing how this unfolds every time you meet a new assassin and you learn what they're doing and how they're connected. You're like Brad Pitt is like, this is interesting, and you as the audience are saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So let me talk about I'm going to get what I didn't like out of the way first.
Cool.
So like I said, this movie, you have to turn your brain off in the same way you'd have to turn your brain off for like a Fast and the Furious movie. Mm-hmm. One of those. So it's kind of like in the Mission Impossible, Fast and Furious, John Wick vein. Where I will say movies like Mission Impossible and John Wick very early on and often establish that, like, they're doing impossible things, mm-hmm. but like, it's they're at least playing by the rules of the world that they set up. So, like John Wick is out there, he's chopping people off of motorcycles with swords, right? But they didn't jump right into that. He started, just shooting people with guns in the first one. Then he graduated to, killing people with pencils, and then he graduated to dogs. And then you saw him fighting motorcyclists with swords.
On a horse.
Yeah, on a horse with swords, so it was gradual. And same thing with Mission Impossible. Even though what Tom Cruise is doing is literally impossible, you at least see the character kind of struggle with it. So it doesn't seem that easy. This movie, it starts off with like, there's a couple hand-to-hand confrontations. And you're like, oh, okay, very good choreography.
Oh, sure.
Amazing choreography.
This felt like we were watching a live-action anime sometimes.
Yeah. And you were like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
But then, you know, certain things start to happen that the movie just didn't prepare you for. Like, again, we said they're on a bullet train. There's no way someone should be able to just stand on top of a bullet train.
Jesus.
And, or, you know, like, or be able to, like, grab onto the side of a bullet train. Like, it's just,
it was...
like, it's, the movie just goes there without preparing you for it. And it's very apparent that it's out of place. So this is the difference, in my opinion, between a movie like Mission Impossible and Fast and the Furious. Where Fast and the Furious literally, like, jump the shark. You're like, yeah, this is very obvious that this is just not possible.
Flying through the air and landing on the windshield, holding somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you know, when I forget there's a Fast and Furious movie where he drives out of one building and goes to another building. And how did, like, if he doesn't hit in between floors or something, like stuff like that, it's like, okay, come on, guys. Whereas at Mission Impossible, again, like I said, it's like, when you think about it, you're like, there's no way this should happen. But the movie does a good way of making it seem as if the character struggled to get there.
The universe is like, I agree with the setup.
Yeah, the setup. Yeah. This movie didn't have that. Nope. So, like, literally, me and Jovi, like, I think we both had the same realization. Because it literally just happened. The dude jumps on the bullet train and is just standing there.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh.
I was like, I literally said, I was like, I've enjoyed this until this very moment.
right.
Because that was just, not saying everything else wasn't ridiculous. But that moment when someone
that's the one where it stands out and you're like, huh. Then it starts happening more often and you're like, okay, yeah. This is one of those movies.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
I feel like I'm watching a cartoon.
I have to suspend my disbelief.
Yeah.
And you didn't go into there knowing this. And for the first maybe half hour you weren't thinking this. So that's something that I guess, you know, came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it, so that's why I'm putting it on my dislike.
Kind of felt like a spy movie in the beginning.
Yeah. And then, I mean, really, honestly, I don't know if there's anything else let me think. I don't think there's anything else I disliked. I think the ending was a little anticlimactic, but I mean, that was, so. Yeah. I mean, that was fine with me.
It's kind of predictable.
Yeah.
With all the setup.
Yeah. Very much so. Like there's a quote-unquote twist, but I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah.
Let me get on to what I liked. So, Brad Pitt. Let me say this. There are certain actors, Brad Pitt, Idris Elba, Denzel, Leonardo, where they can be put in a movie and everything around them is terrible, but they are never the reason a movie is bad.
Yeah.
But with Brad Pitt, I'm going to go a little further. He might be the only actor I can think of that's been in a movie I've seen that, like he's never been in a bad movie that I've seen. All the others have been in a movie where I'm like, wow, this movie is really bad. Maybe one of the Oceans, but I mean, I didn't really hate those. I just didn't think any of them were as good as the first one.
I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, but yeah, so Brad Pitt, like the dude, I don't know how long he's been out. Since he's been Tyler Durden in Fight Club, maybe?
Oh, man.
Like, it's been over 20 years, bro. Like, and he's doing his thing, and he does it here. Like I said, he's a pacifistic assassin. He brings all the charm. Like, every time he meets someone, he's like, he really is trying to talk it out. Like, he does not break this character at all. He's like, why are we fighting? I don't even know what's going on here. And, you know, he has, like, this bad luck that he calls it that follows him around that leads to some hilarious stuff happening. There are some hilarious deaths in this movie.
The highlights of the movie are the bad luck scenes.
Yeah. And then, moving on, I guess, I'm sure people have said this in other reviews, but the twins, played by Lemon and Tangerine. Code names, played by Byron Tyree Henry and Aaron Taylor Johnson, and their British accents.
AKA, fucking, what was his name? Kick-Ass and Paperboy.
Yup.
Kick-Ass and Paper, and it's just hilarious.
Their chemistry is phenomenal.
That's like, have y'all known each other like for years? Because it really feels like,
yeah. If there was a separate movie with just them, I would go see it.
I would watch
They were fantastic. I think outside of Brad Pitt, they were probably my favorite part of this movie.
What would it be called? Citrus.
Right.
The Citrus Assassin.
Yeah, the Citrus Brothers or something like that. Yeah. And I'd be there day one, just smiling. They brought a lot of, again, comedy, emotion. Like, every character seemed to carry, like, there wasn't one character where comedy was relying on this character.
No.
Or one character where action was relying on this character. Everyone in this cast brought it.
They did a very good job. Oh, man. Yeah, no, I didn't think about it like that. Yeah. Everybody.
Like, Byron Tyree Henry was hilarious. Yeah. Aaron Taylor Johnson was hilarious. Brad Pitt was hilarious. Our girl Zazie Beetz from Atlanta is in this movie as another assassin. She's not even very long, but her part was probably one of the best parts of the movie. Yeah. It was so funny.
Yeah, her lines were hilarious.
Yes, and her delivery of those lines was hilarious.
I'm gonna assume she has a seat at the writing table because it just came out way too natural.
Right. It was great.
Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny did his thing.
Oh my gosh, that was Bad Bunny. You're right.
Bad Bunny. And because I turned to Sam, I was like, hold on. It's like, Bad Bunny is in this. And then I just sat back. I was like, cool. This is his acting debut, right?
Yeah, he's going to be Craven. Is it Craven?
I think he's going to be in Craven. He's not going to be Craven.
He's starring as somebody.
He's not Craven.
We're going to look this up.
He's not. They would, no. You know they wouldn't do that.
He's starring as somebody.
Yeah.
Alright, we're back. So we really had to look that up. He's not starring as Craven. He's starring as someone called El Muerto. Yeah. El Muerto. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, he was in this movie too. Totally forgot. So I mean, it's an all-star cast, and they all brought their A game.
Even the side characters, some of the conductor, the what would you call? It's not a stewardess on a train. The person.
Oh, the attendant. The car.
That's another actor.
Yeah,
like there was like all these. I'm like cool. Y'all like sprinkle this pretty all-star cast throughout.
Yeah. And Hiroyuki Sanada.
Yes.
He's like literally the Japanese. Like, I hate saying it this way, but he is the Japanese dude you see in every movie.
Yes.
And he is a phenomenal actor.
Godfather
Scorpion in that terrible Mortal Kombat movie. But yeah.
Intro to a movie ever.
I honestly, the cast sold this movie.
Oh, heck yeah.
I mean, the ultimate villain is also someone famous, but I'm not going to spoil that because the movie didn't really tell.
They didn't tell. Yeah. And that made everybody smile.
Right. Yeah.
That was cool.
And then I really just like the story. Like, I like going along for the ride.
We're doing this all out of order because I'm interjecting. There are cameos for days. That's my eight. That pulls it up for me.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because
there's one in particular that was like yeah, it was really good.
The cameos made this nonsense even better. And that's I'm leaving that.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It really did. Like those little cuts, you're like,
wait a minute, I know you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And then I know the one you're thinking of at the end when they were filming. Yeah. I was just laughing. Like, why are you in this movie?
And everyone in the theater, and I feel like this is the kind of movie that if you are seeing it this late, you're a fan of this kind of comedy action.
Seriously, the movie was. I mean, I loved that it was hilarious. I loved the story, seeing everything unwind and seeing the ultimate, I guess, plan, if you want to call it that, was great. And I mean, the action, obviously, I'm not even talking about that. That speaks for itself. Yeah. I had a really good time with this movie.
Like, we got to look up the choreographer and see what else they've done.
Yeah. I'm going to let you go ahead.
Since I interjected the entire time, tenfold what Sam just said, I have nothing else to add. This was funny.
And fun.
Fun, kooky, and amazing action, and that is actually a plus for me, and I'm usually the one, like, just because it has action doesn't mean it makes it a good movie. The action scenes were incredible.
They were really good. Another thing, the camera work. It's not even just the choreography, the camera work. You saw stuff. Yeah. Like, this was, I mean, it's not as good as Everything Everywhere All at Once, but it kind of had those vibes where you're like, the camera and was really good. It was
some of the kills. Yeah, I was like, wow, I didn't expect to see that on. Like, I got shocked. Yeah. Like I said, it feels like I was watching an anime because the amount of times they hit each other in this, and they're not knocking each other out, or they're not hurt. Like, they're hurting each other's blood. Yeah. But it's like, yo, if I got hit twice as hard as they, they made it seem. They made them seem so much bigger than what they are, if they were real, and I like that. Yeah, like they seem bigger than the other people on the train. Yes. And I think that's really cool. But they all were assassins, so I guess they have special skills.
They have this particular set of skills. Yeah, man. Yeah. Usually when we gush and rant about movies like this, you guys can tell we enjoyed it. I think this is a movie that definitely lends itself to another watch. There's a lot. There are certain things that have to do with time in this movie where basically they're like, hey, 47 minutes ago you needed to know this, or 3 days ago you needed to know this, and then they swing back to what's happening on the train. So there might be little things that you can catch.
Even the first scene. The first scene shows you 2 plot points.
Oh yeah.
3 plot points.
Very true. The very first scene, minor spoiler, takes place in this hospital room, and in the hospital room, he just said, 3 major things that are going to happen in the movie basically are going on.
So that is your one spoiler.
So no, yeah.
But it won't change the way you watch the film.
You know how I feel about this movie? Not to say that they're not even like the same, I guess, like genre. But I feel about this movie the same way I felt after I watched the Snyder Cut, where I knew it wasn't perfect and I knew it had its flaws, but it was entertaining for me, so I just didn't feel like talking crap about it.
That's real.
Yeah. And that's how I felt about this movie. I was thoroughly entertained and I enjoyed it. Yeah, man. So I think I'm going to go ahead. I'll give this movie a 4 out of 5.
And I'll do 3.5.
Okay. Yeah. So what's that? 3.75.
Yeah.
That's your small couch review score. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please go ahead, hit that little subscribe button and the bell. Ding. That way you'll be alerted every time we upload a video. And we try to upload at least once a week. We love communicating with you guys. So, Bullet Train. Did you see it? What'd you think about it? Go ahead, tell us right down there so we can talk about it. And until next time, we out.
Deuces.